Hello, Taurus. Welcome to your reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Taurus, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Okay, Seven of Swords. You're somebody that you're trying to resist the opinions of other people right now. You're somebody that is, I almost feel like you're doing something kind of controversial in your life. You know, you're going against the grain in some way. Maybe you are, maybe you're trying to focus on what you believe in. But there's other people, maybe family, friends, even coworkers or something, that are sort of criticizing what you're doing. That you understand that if you follow your own path, you're going to meet with differing opinions, right? This is somebody who sort of goes out into life and they realize that their path is taking them in a different direction than what their parents wanted them to do, you know? Or you're sort of breaking with the group of friends that you had. Everybody's sort of doing the same thing, and you're the one that gets up and decides to go in your own direction. And that creates a little bit of friction, let's say, right? But you're somebody who you try to be tolerant of other people. You try to listen to their opinions, but sometimes you just sort of plug your ears and you don't listen. And you go your own way, and you do your own thing. And sometimes that is a lonely path, right? I feel like a lot of people are sort of talking in your ear right now. And it could be that some of that does seep in, and then we start to question ourselves and doubt ourselves and think, God, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I should just stick to what I know, you know, or stick to what's familiar, or stay here with everybody else, you know, that sort of thing. And maybe this right now is just an idea in your mind, right? Maybe we're just thinking, maybe I should go do this. And then we think, oh gosh, that's not going to go over well. It's like you can hear it now, all the people that are trying to dissuade you from doing it. So I don't know that you've even really started that yet. I feel like it might still be a thought in your mind. You're anticipating all the criticism and all the negative energy. Let's see what's going to happen with this. All right, let's use our Dove and Serpent spread. Oh, we've got a Queen of Wands here. The Seven of Cups. The Eight of Pentacles. A Prince of Cups. And the Prince of Wands. Okay. Despite the fear, it's kind of like the... there's a little bit of apprehension here, right? We're sort of nervous about going forward in this direction. But with the Prince of Cups here, you could see that the Prince of Cups is on an eagle, and they're swooping down towards this water. But you don't want to dive into that water. You don't want to lose yourself in this, okay? So it's kind of like, in a way, you don't feel that there's any choice in the matter, but you going your own way because you don't want to land here. We're swooping down here, and what we're trying to do is stay separate from this. So I feel like in your life, you're trying to distance yourself. You're trying to prevent yourself, your identity, from being lost in this sort of toxic sludge, right? You don't want to become part of that. And whether this is a family thing, friends, whether this is just life in general, and all of its sort of toxic sludge that we find in different places, you're trying to remain separate from that. Okay? You're trying to move through life without getting stuck in that mud of that. This could be a lot of different things. We'll get there. All right? But I definitely feel the Prince of Cups is trying to, so it's sort of like we're pulling up, pull up, pull up, pull up. We're trying not to dive and get lost in that water. We're trying to, sort of lift the nose up and, and aim somewhere else, right? Let's keep going. Let's put the rest of our cards down here. We have a Queen of Swords. We have another Prince of Pentacles. We've got the Emperor energy. And we've got a Two of Pentacles. Now, the Prince of Pentacles here, this is one of your Taurus power cards. This is a fixed earth energy. It represents Taurus, and it represents your nature in action. Okay? So I feel like this is some of that. This is some of your positive quality. This is your light now shining out in the world. In other words, this is your stubbornness, right? This is your ability to just slowly and steadily just stomp forward, like an elephant, just stomping through the mud, and nothing is going to stop you from getting through this. Okay, it's that stubborn kind of endurance and that tenacity that we see with the Taurus energy. And I feel like this is all for a purpose. This is the builder. You want to build a life that looks the way you want it to look. You want to decorate your life the way you want it. You want your own wallpaper. You want your own art on the wall. You want the sheets to be the color you choose, So you're trying to move toward a life that is beautiful to you and away from something that feels sort of disgusting to you. And that's a harsh word, right? Disgusting. It's not a pleasant word to say either. But that's just what it is. We're trying to navigate our lives away from what is toxic and disgusting and build the life that we really want to live. Yeah. Feels like a very big moment in your life right now. Let's select a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We'll set it down right here with tiny Bob Ross right on top. Happy little Bob, everyone's best friend. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. All right. Let's look around the room. We see one major arcana energy only, the Emperor. And it's in the position of the difficulty, the obstacle, right? The obstacle for the Emperor is to make a decision, doing what's best for the realm, right? And the realm basically is your life. The Emperor's challenge is to make the unpopular decisions, to do what is going to be the absolute very best, even when people aren't going to like you. Even when you know you're going to get criticized. They're going to tear you up. People are going to protest, right? Your family or your friends or whatever this is, if this is a particular relationship, they're going to be really trying to dissuade you from doing it. The Emperor has to believe in the correctness of what they're doing, despite the criticism and the negative opinions, right? And there are a lot of court cards here today, so I do feel like there are a lot of people talking in your ear. You're already anticipating a lot of people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my gosh, 5 court cards here, and you're one of them in the environment, trying to sort of stubbornly and very trying to stomp your way through when everybody else is trying to pull you back. And it's almost like you've got all these people that are pulling at you, and you're just trying to to move forward with that. And that feels difficult. Not only that, but you're standing in a swamp. Can you imagine? You're standing in this in a swamp, in this mud, and you're trying to walk forward in your life. So that's hard enough. And then you got these other people that are pulling at your clothes and trying to drag you back. Your task is not an easy one right now. Okay. But it is a necessary one, and it's up to you now to take charge of your life and to do this thing. We have some fire. We of course have the water energy. We got the air energy. We've got the earth energy. So we have a little bit of everything, right? And Spirit's saying the big lesson for you, the big spiritual power that you have to really summon is your Emperor energy, your authority, your recognition and acknowledgement that you are the ruler of your own life, that you have autonomy and agency. It is your responsibility to direct your life in a way that is pleasing to you, that feels right for you, to create, to build your world, building your relationships, building your networks, building your career, building your spiritual life, everything. The Emperor decides, the builder builds. No matter what. Okay? What you are building doesn't matter. I say that all the time on this channel. It doesn't matter what you're doing. What matters is how and why. Are you doing it because that's what everybody else did? Are you doing it because everybody has convinced you to give up on your dreams and just do theirs? Are you doing it with strength, with endurance, with tenacity, a little bit of stubbornness? Are you doing it because it feels right for you, because it feels like it is your path, it is your calling? Are you being authentic to yourself? Are you doing it with that sense of meaning and purpose to it, right? It's not about what you're doing. You could be doing anything. It doesn't matter. What matters is how and why. Yeah. And I think that this is the energy that you're trying to summon. Despite all of the naysayers behind you, despite everybody that's kind of saying, and it's kind of like at the beginning, people are going to dissuade you. They say, no, wait, really? You don't want to do that? Really? Tell me about it. And then they're going to try to counteract. They're going to try to be contrary, offer you some other opinions. Well, have you thought about this, though? Well, what about this over here? Maybe you didn't consider that. Are you sure that, this is kind of what you want to do? And at first, it may seem like it's genuine concern, good advice, a good, the flip side. I didn't think about it that way. Okay, yeah, I see your point. But then the more you persist, you're that Queen of Wands, right? The more you say, okay, thanks for the opinion. I'm still going to do it. Okay, then the other people, the other energy is going to start getting a little bit more angry. They're going to feel like they have to sort of kick it up a notch. And then they're going to start insulting you, right? Or then they're going to start kind of saying some more harsh sort of contrary things. So you can see it's going to ramp up. And the more you persist, the more you say, I'm still doing it, you'll be able to see how the people, whoever they are in your life. I don't know if this is friends, family members, but I feel there's a lot of voices around you somehow, okay? You're going to see how their tactics are going to change. It may begin as very friendly advice. It may begin as agreement. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. Then it's going to become, well, I'll miss you very much. Then it'll become, have you thought about it this way? So it's going to escalate to, at the very end, they're going to be calling you names. They're going to say, get out of here. We don't want you anyway. Okay? You're ready for that. The Queen of Wands is one who has lit up the fire energy, lit up your confidence, right? That you're a ball of fire, right? But that's protecting that vulnerable, authentic self inside, the water energy, the Queen of Wands, water of fire. Okay? You're trying to contain that water energy, that purpose, that sense of love, that sense of self, that sense of authenticity. And you're protecting that by no matter what anybody says, you're staying firm in your decision here. So you realize that if you're going to do this, and I don't think you've done anything yet, but if you're going to do this, you have to be ready to shield yourself from all of that contrary energy, which again, may start out very friendly. You will see it will escalate to downright cruelty and insults. Now, if you can prepare yourself for that and you can be ready for that, this is going to work out very well for you. You're going to piss some people off, okay? And I think that the Queen of Wands is ready for that. You've got your armor on, so to speak, your fiery armor of protection. Yeah. It's a spiritual armor. Okay. What is it that's here that you're trying to get away from? That's the Seven of Cups. What is this? This is any situation in life, any reality of your of your existence that you're kind of saying, this isn't good for me anymore. I want to do something else. I want to move away from this. I don't want to lose myself in this. I don't want to sink further into this, or I don't want to touch this at all. I don't know how deep you are in this yet. Okay? But this is the idea that I need to get out of here. Okay? That you're able to see something for what it is, and it may be something that was once very pleasurable. And you're starting to say, okay, it's not for me anymore. I've got to go. And this is your decision now, that you want to create a life that feels good, looks good, is good. Yeah? In a way that is true and real and authentic for you. Could you imagine if the Prince of Cups dived into this swampy water? It would come out, if it ever came out at all, it would take a long time to undo what this does to you. This is a green, swampy slime, and this is pure, crystal clear water, right? And you don't want to absorb this. You don't want to become part of this. You immerse yourself in this, you get lost in there. You lose yourself in this. And you end up, like not liking who you are anymore. You feel like you've lost your identity. You've lost what it is that makes you you. You've lost your sense of purpose, right? So this isn't necessarily a situation that is, toxic. It could be addiction, it could be a bad relationship, it could be a toxic home environment, or it could be just the town we're living in. We got to get out of here. But this really could just be, it could be just life in general, some unseen forces that are trying to suck you in and drain you of your purpose, trying to leach out from you your sense of self and your sense of purpose. It's a spiritual enemy, okay? However it may be manifesting for you. And you're somebody who can recognize that. And I think you're somebody who can handle the criticism, the contrarians, the naysayers, right? You can handle those opposing voices, and you can do this because the alternative is you become this. Okay, so I think you're somebody that you get a gut feeling about something, you trust it. You say, okay, this feeling, this isn't good. I got a bad feeling about this, right? What movie is that from? I can't remember. But I feel like that's you, and I feel that you recognize when something isn't resonating with you, something isn't harmonious with you, and beyond that, it's something that really is sort of toxic for you. Not only is it sort of unharmonious, but it's downright nasty and kind of dangerous. So we've got the 7 and the 7, right? And you realize that it is the voice of this that's trying to suck you back in. Whether this is manifesting through people or your own thoughts or stuff you see on TV or whatever, you realize that all those people that are saying they're your friends, and then it sort of escalates into them just saying, okay, well, we don't like you anyway, get out of here. You realize that that's all coming from this very toxic and negative place. It is the voice of this toxicity trying to suck you back in. And it may be that this is very loving, very trying to appeal to your emotions. But we love you. We don't want you to go. I'm going to miss you. Think about that. Think about what you're doing to me by leaving, that sort of thing. This is the toxicity itself expressing its need for you to stay. Okay? And it's sometimes very difficult to resist that. But you've got your Queen of Wands there, which can be stubborn and firm and fiery and immovable, right? If you are this fiery torch of a soul, of a spirit, then this water isn't going to touch you. Okay? And that these voices will be relatively powerless against you, okay? But they will appeal to your emotions. Now, in the background, we've got an 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is a card of patience. It's a card of I'm going to stick around. I'm going to just suspend my judgment. I'm going to see how things go. I think in whatever situation you're in, you gave it a good old college try. You were there. You were patient with it. You were tolerant of it. You tried to do everything that you could to nourish it. If this is a garden, you've put in the work. You've weeded the garden. You've tried to give it water and soil and sunlight and a lot of love. Like, you really put in your best effort here. And if it's still not feeling right, if it still feels toxic, it's no fault of your own. Okay? So is there something in your life that's trying to force you to accept blame for something that you're thinking, I did as much as I could? And you're probably not perfect. You probably made some kind of mistake. But what's the minimum mistake that you think you could have made? Well, maybe I could have tried harder. Maybe. Maybe I sometimes prioritized myself once in a while, Okay, well, that's not really a big fault, is it? Okay? So when you're looking at this situation, you have to, in order for you to make a positive choice here, Two of Pentacles, to change your life, to change this circumstance and move forward, you have to be able to look at the history here and acknowledge what is the sort of minimum that you're responsible for. Well, let's see, you put in a lot of time and effort, you really gave it a go, you gave it love, you watered it, soil, sunlight, all that stuff. Maybe sometimes you left it outside in the rain, or maybe, I don't know. There is a little bit of blame that you need to take. Okay? And maybe that's something that, we can work on correcting in the future as we go. But the energy that's trying to get you to take the full blame, really punish you for something, that's not going to fly here. Okay? The Eight of Pentacles is showing, without a doubt, that you did the best you could. Again, not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We can identify some mistake probably that I made. Yes, okay. Take ownership of that. Use that as a catalyst for self-development in the future. Yes, fine. But don't let anybody put all the blame on you for something. In an effort, again, it's the voice of the toxicity, in an effort to get you to stay. Okay? You tried your best in this thing, in this situation. Now, maybe this is a relationship, maybe this is a family thing, maybe this is just life in general. Maybe this is the idea that I've been here long enough and I've grown as much as I could in this place, but if I stay here any longer, I'm going to wilt. I'm going to wither away, right? It's someone who stays in a particular job for a long time and they've grown as big as they could. It's kind of like the goldfish in the fishbowl kind of analogy. You're a big fish in a little pond now. And if you stay in the little pond, guess what? You're going to get sick. You're going to get the tail rot or whatever fish get. It's not going to work out for you. It's not going to be healthy for you anymore. You've grown too big for this situation, spiritually. And maybe even in terms of your personal development, maybe in terms of, let's say, your ambition or your success, or you've reached a level in this small company where they just can't pay you anymore, right? And so it's time for you to move on and sort of go up to the next level. If we stay here at this level out of a feeling of obligation or guilt, or we're shamed into it or whatever, or something's pulling on our emotions and we stay here in this smaller situation, right? We're not going to continue to grow. We're going to grow in the opposite direction. We're going to get smaller. We're going to get weaker. We're going to be less and less and less. And then there's all of this untapped potential that you're not going after. Okay, so I'm not sure what your situation is, but I know that you know what it is. We've got the Prince of Cups here at the top. You have a sense of self. You have a strong identity, and you're trying to stay pure. You're trying to stay true to yourself. You don't want this to swoop in and get lost in this water. You see that eagle is just about to touch that water. It's just skimming over the top of the water. It's not diving in and getting lost down there. It's not immersing yourself in this. This could just be, it could be an isolated situation. It could be a group of friends that's saying, hey, let's go do something, kind of naughty. And you're thinking, no, I'm not going to do that. This could be a more sort of generalized concept for you. where it's just that feeling of life where, you know what, I don't want to become this. I don't want to stay here and lose myself in this toxic environment and just become part of it. So we need to separate ourselves from something. We need to keep ourselves separated from something. Now, whatever your level of connection is already, maybe you're already immersed in that. Maybe you've already been here long enough that you're feeling that it's kind of, it's changing you a little bit. Well, that just adds more urgency to this thing. And we get the Knight, or the Prince of Wands here in the future position. There's a sense of urgency here. There's a sense of, let's make our decision and let's go. Let's put as much distance between this and ourselves as we can. We put our foot on the gas, keep it there for a while, right? I think of Ripley in Aliens, right, where she's in that personnel transport thing, and she's just flooring it, right? She's busting through walls, and they're going over the rocks and everything, and she's flooring it, And then Hicks, I guess, I think it's Hicks, right? He's telling her to ease down, Ripley. Ease down, ease down. We're clear, Better to be safe than sorry, right? Better to just keep going for a while and make sure there's enough distance. It's kind of like minimum safe distance, right? Well, let's go a little bit further than the minimum safe distance, okay? But there's that sense of urgency here, moving forward in your life. You got to go your own way here, okay? By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. It supports me, the channel, my family, and, well, I appreciate that. I really do. Your general energy now is Queen of Swords. A little bit of detachment. See, when we're in this situation and we feel that it's getting so close to us and it's feeling sticky, we can't help but react. We can't help but, for one, I don't like getting sticky, right? Or we're, making cookies and frosting and all this stuff for the holidays, and it just get real sticky. Or when sugar or something dries and it's just so sticky, like not into that, right? It gets all over everything, gets in my hair, my clothes, and the car and stuff. So we react a certain way, but once we kind of can take a step back, once we can detach from the situation and look at it clearly, then we can really be sure of how we feel about it. When we are immersed in this thing, it's very likely we're just going to be confrontational, angry, frustrated. And then we're going to react in that manner. Okay, maybe that's appropriate. Maybe that's the good thing. How you're feeling right now in this situation, that's a true and honest feeling. And if your reaction is to floor it out of there, trust your gut, okay? But we're going to be able to look at it afterwards and detach from all of that. The feelings have subsided, that adrenaline has worn down, and we're able to detach and look at what happened, look at the past, the present, and then look at the future as well, and say, okay, I made the right decision. And we can pat ourselves on the back and say, okay, body and heart and mind and sympathetic nervous system, you did the right thing. You reacted correctly to a situation. If there's a situation and you find yourself getting frustrated, mad and angry, and you want to get away from it, and it feels wrong, it feels toxic, who said that we have to ignore that or suppress that and say, no, I'm going to stay here anyway? There's a reason why we're built with these systems in place that can react this way to things, okay? And it doesn't mean that every little minor sense of, oh, this is wrong, necessarily needs to be acted on, right? But sometimes it does. And we need to learn how to trust ourselves. And I think in this situation, when you look at it afterwards, when you kind of do the retrospective, you can think, okay, that was an appropriate reaction. You did the right thing. You reacted correctly to a situation that was, I think, not good for you. In a spiritual, energetic way, maybe physically, mentally, emotionally, I don't know. But the detachment and the retrospective energy is going to reinforce for you that, hey, I made the right decision. And so what that does, it kind of gives us a little bit of that dopamine, right? That we feel good about our decision. And then it sort of works its way backwards. And then we realize that, okay, now when I trust my gut, it's going to work out okay for me. Now it sort of reinforces that belief that I can trust my instinct, that I can trust myself to react appropriately to a situation. If you're reacting to some toxicity, right? And then someone's kind of criticizing your reaction. Isn't that manipulation? Isn't that more of that toxic energy? When someone's being a certain way to you, being this, I don't know, aggressive or toxic in whatever way, and I don't want to overuse that word, but, and you sort of have a reaction where you get frustrated and you say, okay, I'm leaving, I'm going to do something, I'm going to get out of here. And then you're getting criticized for the way you're reacting. That doesn't seem right to me. Okay. And we see the fire energy here in a very specific way. I think you're standing up for yourself. I think you're taking action to get away from the toxic energy. You're taking control of your life, which I don't know that it's ever really been easy for you to do that. Okay, you're doing what's best for your life, and whether that means it's your family and your sort of, your realm, right? A lot of court cards here. I don't know if this is a toxic work environment, maybe, or maybe this is a family situation. Okay, but you're in that zone where you can look at it objectively, where you can detach from it a little bit, and you can think. And because the queens are always looking at the past too. Just like the Queen of Wands here is looking at the past and saying, you know what? I put in as much energy as I could. Yeah, there's some things I need to take responsibility for, but I did everything that I could here. And so there's a confidence here that, I've done the right thing. And then we're looking back at that Eight of Pentacles, right? And now we're sort of looking back at how we reacted to the situation and the actions that you've taken. And I think that you're going to be confident that you did the right thing. Yeah. And now we've got present energy with that Taurus, fixed earth, Prince of Pentacles energy. You are building the life that you want. You cannot build your life, you cannot build a strong foundation in quicksand. It's not going to work, right? So you're building, you're maybe rebuilding your life. You're finding some nice solid ground to put down roots, to really establish yourself, or whatever this is. You're creating the life closer to your heart's desire, closer to your will, your vision, right? You are taking responsibility for this, and you're building your life. And that's part of the Taurus aesthetic, right? That you want things to look the way you want them to look. You want to create an environment where you're comfortable, where you feel safe and successful, and where you feel like you can continue to pursue your own potential. Right? This is the card of the environment. You're trying to create. It's a magician energy. It's magic. You're trying to create change in your environment. You're putting yourself in a place that is going to be healthy for you, nurturing to you, that's going to support you, and you have to choose that. You have to choose the right environment that's going to be conducive to your growth, your health, your wealth, your success, whatever we're talking about here, all of it. Okay? And we don't just, the magician, maybe that's going to be the mystery card. The magician has the ability to just accept the current situation and adapt to it. Yeah, you could do that. But should you? The magician also has the power to not adapt to the situation. If I can change the situation, if I can create a better set of circumstances for myself and then adapt to that, well, that's going to be so much better than if I just take this lump as it is and I do my very best with it. Okay? Life is not a game show of Chopped. I mean, you've seen that show where they just give these chefs, right, just a basket full of random ingredients. Well, random. I think they're chosen to be difficult, things that don't really go together. You're given this box of unknown ingredients, and you're just supposed to create the very best dish, the very best plate of food that you can create. Life doesn't need to be that way. Sometimes we can select the ingredients we want so that we can create the dish that we really want to create. Yeah, it's possible that you can just take whatever is here in the kitchen and you can make a meal out of it, yeah. But we also can go shopping and kind of pick and choose what we want to work with today in our lives, right? And that is the autonomy, that is the sovereignty of the emperor. The ability, the right, the responsibility to do that for ourselves. And so this is you making some changes in your life. And we end with that 2 of Pentacles here. And it doesn't matter, again, it doesn't matter what you're doing, how and why. You're doing it because it's your life, it's your responsibility, because you trust yourself that you can react to the current situation in a correct way and do the responsible thing, do the right thing. And you're going to change your life for the better. You're making positive changes. Okay? Let's take a look at our mystery card. I would love for this to be the Magician, but I would also love to see just any kind of supporting energy. How about we get a 6 of something? 6 of Cups, a 6 of Wands, a 6 of even Swords or Pentacles would be just great. Or the Magician. Let's see. It's the Knight of Cups. Another court card. But this is a knight. See, we had 2 queens looking at the past. We have the princes who are all concerned about what's going on right now in my immediate environment. What am I experiencing now, here? The knight is looking at the future. And it's a Knight of Cups. This is looking at a life where we are driven forward with purpose. Right? We're pursuing the Holy Grail. We're living a life, and we can see the future, and how we feel about the future. And this is a future that may be challenging, it may be difficult, there may be ups and downs, there may be good days, bad days, but you're living a life authentically with purpose, pursuing your love, pursuing yourself, pursuing the depth and the meaning of life. Yeah. And you're answering the call of your own emperor, really. Yeah. And so we're traveling forward, and maybe we're continuing on this quest. Maybe we got stuck in the swamp a little bit, but the knight has to keep going. This is a very strong confirmation. Again, another court card. There's a lot of people around you for some reason. But this is you taking control over the nature of your future. What is your future going to feel like? Well, we know it. We don't want it to feel like this. Okay. Very good confirmation. We're going to do an extended reading. We're going to do a hexagram from the Jing. We'll do some oracle cards. Click on the link in the corner. There's a link down below as well. New readings for Taurus Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.